Hello and welcome back to the channel. This time we're taking a look at the Class 52s, the Westerns, also known as the Wizzos. These locos did get to Birmingham, and as a young child I just about remember seeing them running around in Platform 1 at Birmingham New Street on Paddington to Birmingham services. They certainly kind of had long left in the early 70s when I remember seeing those. Certainly no records of them coming onto Saltley in my logbooks of the 80s. They were long gone by then. Didn't carry tops numbers, of course. And there's some photos with the D painted out and just the four-figure number. And that's about all I remember about them, really. They weren't a big loco in my life, really. But I hope you enjoy the images that I've put together. Didn't manage to find one of every loco, but there's a nice collection for you to enjoy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. On the main lines of Western England during the 1960s, a new sound emerged, the deep, throaty roar of a diesel hydraulic, unlike anything else in Britain. Sleek, powerful, and unmistakably Western region in character, these were the British Rail Class 52 locomotives, better known as the Westerns. Built for speed, built for prestige, and yet destined for an early demise. This is the story of how they rose, ruled, and fell, the last of the great diesel hydraulics. In the post-war years, British Railways faced a massive modernisation task. Steam locomotives, once the pride of the rails, were expensive, inefficient, and slow to maintain. The 1955 modernisation plan promised a new era, diesel and electric traction across the network. But unlike the other regions, the Western region of British Rail had its own ideas. Influenced by the success of German diesel hydraulics, particularly the V200 class, Western engineers believed that hydraulic transmission was lighter, more efficient, and better suited to fast passenger work. It was a bold, independent move, and it set the stage for the most distinctive locomotives ever built in Britain. The Class 52s were the final and most powerful of the Western region diesel hydraulics. Conceived in 1959, they were designed jointly by Swindon Works and Crewe Works, the two great strongholds of railway engineering. Each locomotive featured two Maybach MD655 engines rated at 1,350 horsepower each, giving a combined output of 2,700 horsepower. Power was transmitted through hydraulic transmissions built by Voith and McHydro, delivering smooth acceleration and an unmistakable growl. With a top speed of 90 miles per hour and a weight of just 108 tons, they offered a power-to-weight ratio unmatched by their diesel-electric rivals. Their design was both functional and elegant, a long, low nose, wide body sides, and that iconic maroon livery that would later become synonymous with the Westerns. The Class 52s carried one of the most celebrated naming traditions in British railway history. Each locomotive bore a Western title, from Western Duke to Western Champion, 74 in total. The names evoked nobility, pride, and strength, qualities the Western region wanted to project to passengers. To spotters of the 1960s, the Westerns weren't just locomotives, they were personalities. Kids would stand at platform ends with notebooks hoping to cop a Western as they thundered past at 90 miles an hour. The Westerns entered service between 1961 and 1964, primarily on express passenger trains between London Paddington and the West Country. They replaced steam engines like the Castles and Kings, bringing cleaner, faster and more reliable service. But reliability wasn't always perfect. The hydraulic transmissions were complex, and maintenance costs rose as mileage increased. Still, in their prime, the Westerns were loved by crews and passengers alike. Drivers praised their smooth power delivery, excellent visibility, and the distinctive Maybach music from their twin engines. But by the early 1970s, change was coming. British Rail had decided that standardisation was the future, and diesel hydraulics, with their non-standard parts and limited compatibility, were marked for extinction. Diesel electrics like the Class 47s and 50s became the new standard bearers. Despite their performance, the Westerns were seen as too specialised, too expensive to maintain, and out of step with British Rail's long-term plans. Withdrawals began in 1973, and by 1977 the last of the Class 52 Westerns had been retired. Out of the 74 locomotives built, only 7 Westerns survived into preservation, saved by enthusiasts who saw their historical importance and emotional power. Among them, D1015 Western Champion remains the most famous possibly, fully restored to mainline condition and still hauling special charter trains today. Others, like Western Courier and Western Ranger, continue to operate on heritage lines, thrilling new generations with that unmistakable Maybach growl. Thanks to the dedication of those preservationists, the legend of the Western lives on. The Westerns represented more than just a locomotive class. They symbolised a region's identity and independence. Though short-lived, their legacy influenced future locomotive design and inspired decades of railway enthusiasm. The debate between diesel hydraulic and diesel electric may have been settled long ago, but the passion for these machines remains as strong as ever. Even today, few locomotives inspire such loyalty, such nostalgia, and such pride as the mighty Westerns. From their distinctive maroon livery to their unforgettable sound, the Class 52 remain icons of a bygone age, symbols of the Western region's bold vision and engineering spirit. Though their time was brief, their story endures, roaring through history, forever Western. We're not done yet with the images, there are plenty more to come, so here's a little bit of music to enjoy whilst you peruse the last few minutes of pictures. And now it's time for our regular look at the Saltley Loco Shed logbooks for the corresponding date that we upload this video to YouTube, which in this instance is the 15th of October. So here is the page for that day. Actually covers from 1450 on Monday the 14th of October 1985 right through to 8:35 on the morning of Wednesday the 16th of October 1985. Again, I recognise my own handwriting at on the first page, so I must have been there on afternoons on that Monday. Lots of different classes represented. We've got everything from 08s, 20s, 25s, 31s, 45s, 47s, 58s, 56s and 37s on there. Although only one 56, which is unusual. 073 in and out a few times. The entry that highlights to me is 31128 on the first page there. Obviously came in F status from 66211 tops code, which from memory is Whittaker Junction. So it looks like 31128 gave up the ghost on whatever train it was working and landed broken on Saltley at 17:15 on that Monday afternoon. Otherwise, a pretty run-of-the-mill day for Saltley with the usual classes on and off. Perhaps the most unusual being the pair of 37s, 096 and 113, off whatever 6Z40 was, some sort of Class 6 freight. Although I see it didn't take long for them to be used on Trip 52, which was the local Longbridge car trip. I wonder whether that was a crank driver fancying a bit of 37 action rather than the usual stuff that you'd be given for that job. Anyway, hope you enjoy perusing those pages. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel. If you'd like to help a little bit further, please do scan the Buy Me a Coffee QR code shown above. That will certainly help. And if you can like, share and subscribe. We're heading towards 1,000 subscribers now. We really would like to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Over 80% of people watching the videos aren't subscribers. It costs you absolutely nothing. It just means that you can find the channel easier from the list on the left-hand side when you're looking at YouTube. There are no financial implications whatsoever. So please do subscribe, like, share and comment on the video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.